I bought this Subaru WRX at auction for $5,500. If everything works out, it could be worth more than $13,000. But if the engine doesn't run, this might be a total loss. Boxer turbo engine, all-wheel drive, one of the most beloved in the world. And there's something I still don't know about this car, and it's going to change everything. Did I make the bet of a lifetime or the worst deal on the channel? This car is a 2011 Subaru WRX, a sports car with passionate fans worldwide. What makes this car special is the combination of two elements. The EJ255 engine, a 2.5-liter turbo boxer, 4 horizontally opposed cylinders with turbocharger, and all-wheel drive AWD, all 4 wheels pulling simultaneously in any condition. It's a car developed based on the Impreza that dominated World Rally, a race car with license plates. And this one is costing $5,500. The mileage we already know, it has 101,000 kilometers. But there's something I still don't know, and it's going to determine if this project is good or very good. Does the engine work? Until this engine shows signs of life, I have no way of knowing. Now let's clean this engine. Look what's in here, the EJ255 Turbo Boxer. And in the center, the intercooler, the component that cools the air compressed by the turbo before entering the engine. It's this system that makes the WRX what it is. But years of neglect damage any engine. Engine clean. Now it's time for the mechanic to tell the truth. Before any diagnosis, this car needs a complete cleaning. This blue was completely hidden under mud and moss. With the dirt coming off, we're starting to see what was underneath. We can see a body that doesn't have dents or structural problems, but we found many deep scratches. Let's see if we can fix this with polishing or if we'll need to have it painted. The mechanic arrived to give the first diagnosis. This is the EJ255 Boxer engine. The cylinders lie flat opposed to each other. It's what gives that characteristic Subaru sound, that rumble that fans recognize from afar. This engine has history. It was based on this design that Subaru dominated the World Rally Championship. Colin McRae, Richard Burns, Peter Solberg, they all raced with engines derived from this one. With the turbo, this engine delivers more than 365 horsepower from the factory. Four-wheel drive, a race car with license plates. The mechanic checked the fluids, all low as expected in an auction car. And it was time for the first attempt. Nothing happened. The dashboard didn't light up. The engine didn't turn. Absolutely nothing. This is worse than an engine that tries and doesn't start. Here the system didn't even try. The mechanic will investigate deeper. With the car on the lift, I could see how things were underneath. Lots of accumulated dirt, but the chassis has no structural rust, no holes. For a car that was abandoned in that state, this is excellent news. The wheel wells accumulated years of mud, but the structure is intact. And the wheels. After cleaning, they looked great. This Subaru is showing that beneath the neglect was a well-built car. But the concern about the engine still doesn't leave my head. The mechanic returned with tools to test the complete electrical system. First, he tested the old battery that was already in the car. Nothing, dead. The battery is completely dead. The mechanic put in a used battery to test if the car showed any signs of life. And this time the dashboard lit up. But when he tried to start it, the engine didn't catch. The car lights up but doesn't run.
Ahorita.
But when he tried to start it, the engine didn't catch. The car lights up but doesn't run. This means the problem isn't just the battery. There's something else preventing this engine from starting. The mechanic started testing the fuses just to be thorough. The investigation continues.
Tá bom.
The interior of this Subaru is focused on the driver. Sport steering wheel, short and direct shifter, seats that position the driver. The abandonment left everything grimy, but the structure is impeccable. After complete detailing, this interior looks like the sports car it always was. But the answer I want still hasn't come. Does this engine work or not? The mechanic connected the scanner. The scanner showed code P80335. This is the crankshaft position sensor. This sensor is responsible for informing the ECU about the crankshaft position and speed at every moment. Without this information, the ECU doesn't know when to inject fuel and when to spark. Without this, the engine simply doesn't work. That's why the car shows no signs of life. It's not the engine that's dead, it's the sensor that stops sending the signal. Time to buy the parts. The crankshaft position sensor cost $70. The new battery was $100. Oil and coolant, $65. The mechanic charged $300 to do the work. The total came to $535. If the engine is alive after this replacement, this project will be one of the best on the channel. While we wait for the mechanic to solve the engine mystery, let's give the final touch to this paint. This blue was hidden under years of neglect. After polishing, the Subaru is showing why this car has so many fans worldwide. This blue is incredible, but a beautiful Subaru without a working engine is worth nothing. Time to see the transformation of our Subaru bought at auction. The same car that was covered in mud and moss that nobody wanted to touch at the auction. Now look how it is. Blue paint shining, interior detailed, wheels gleaming. But this engine still hasn't shown signs of life. This is the moment that defines everything. The mechanic returned with everything. New sensor installed in the exact place. New battery, no risk of power shortage. This engine has no more excuses. The mechanic put in the key and turned. And the car started on the first try. This EJ25 is alive. The Subaru Turbo Boxer filling the space with that unmistakable sound. This engine is healthy. This engine has much more life ahead. A crankshaft sensor. That was the secret hiding this Subaru from the world. The total investment was $6,300. A 2011 Subaru WRX with Turbo Boxer engine, all-wheel drive and running is worth about $13,000. Important, WRX pricing can vary greatly depending on region. In some places, this car is worth even more. An estimated profit of more than $6,000. From $5,500 to $13,000, this was the Subaru project. Everyone looked at this car at the auction and saw abandonment. I looked and saw a bet, and the bet paid off. This is auction life. Calculated risk, real results. If you enjoyed this restoration, make sure to subscribe. New videos every Saturday at 2 p.m. Thanks for watching.